guys? Welcome to the podcast. My name is Derek.
I'm Anthony Sazma.
And my name is Brandon Carlson.
Today we're going to be talking about some all NBA teams, our conference finals predictions, season awards, and we're going to finish it off with some top 5 fast food chain restaurants, as well as some bets, because we know that we all enjoy betting and gambling our money.
Big bettors.
And other miscellaneous things will be thrown throughout.
Yes.
Mostly NBA, considering it's NBA season.
Yes.
To begin, just want to let you guys know we do have a schedule. However, that probably will go off course, and we're just going to start winging it and yelling / having conversation with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Enjoy the ride.
that being said, shout out Kyle Maher, missing you out here.
Yeah. Hopefully you're enjoying the ATL.
Yes, sir. See Trae Young, Quavo, all those guys.
Disclaimer: any of our financial statements and views listed on this podcast is not financial advice. We are not financial advisors or any betting professionals, so do not listen and take our opinions with true and honest opinions.
Don't gamble.
Don't gamble.
Don't sports gamble. Don't do it.
If you want to, feel free.
Don't do it.
Don't trust Mr. Rolf's winnings.
Now, don't take anything personal. We're not trying to attack anyone or offend anyone. We're just having a great conversation. Just being real. We're not going to cut anything. We're not going to edit anything. So this is it.
Yeah.
Mostly because we don't have time.
Or energy. Yeah.
All right. That being said, first topic.
Let's get into it.
We'll start off with the conference finals predictions. Anthony, you want to say your thoughts here?
Yeah. So as a Miami Heat fan, I am obligated to think that the Heat will advance to the finals, but I also know the Celtics are extremely hot right now. They're the hottest team in the league.
I agree.
Just the way the series has gone, any team can win. Any team can win by 50. Any team can lose by 50. So
Definitely.
I do think with the Heat having home court, they will advance. It will be into Game 7. Will be a classic Game 7, but I think it'll be Heat, and then as of right now, we're recording it when the Warriors are up 3-1. So
yeah, Warriors 3-1
Yeah.
and Heat Celtics
Heat are
2-2.
even at
So
2. And,
Game 5 is later tonight.
yeah.
Hopefully we're gonna make our predictions before the game, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so unless the Warriors choke a 3-1 lead again, I have them winning.
It would be a
And-
3-0, which is
Oh yeah, 3-0
never
lead, yeah.
How many games you got?
0-146 in all time. Any team down 3-0 is 0-146. Cue the Luka Doncic, LeBron James picture wearing earbuds and sunglasses.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
He will return.
Yeah, so I think that the Warriors will win Game 5 handedly. I think just the whole Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole combo, it'll be too much for Luka.
So how many games do you have?
So I have Warriors in 5.
All
Heat
right,
in
so
7.
we'll do the Warriors game first, then we'll move on.
Yeah.
Finish
yeah.
up since we know you're a Heat fan. We'll get to you at the end for the Heat predictions.
Yeah.
So, Warriors in 5, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree just based on Game 5 being in Golden State. Steph Curry hasn't had the greatest series, but I can see him popping off for a quick 30-piece nugget. Klay Thompson not having the greatest series either. He's pretty hot and cold. I think overall the Mavs role players just don't have enough firepower to compete with the Warriors.
They just look tired.
They look
honestly.
tired. They look
fatigued.
exhausted. No, they had a good season. I don't think they should hang their head about anything. They weren't supposed to be here, so
Yeah.
they beat the
Props-
Suns in 7.
Props
Yeah,
to them.
exactly. So
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go with the Warriors though. Luke is gonna drop his 35 points or whatever, but I'm gonna take Warriors in 5 as well.
All right. I'm on a similar track of mine, but I also am less of a fan of Steph Curry as both of these individuals. So I feel as if Steph Curry is in the game and they are winning or they are down, never mind, retract my statement. If Steph Curry is in the game and they're down by 6, he does not know how to score a basketball. Jordan Poole has to be in the game with Klay Thompson for them to get in the lead, and then Steph learns how to put the ball in the bucket again this year. There was a blasphemous statement said by Parker Althouse at a recent fire where this brother said that this is Steph Curry's best season of his career. And I looked at him and asked, how can you ever speak basketball at all? Because he's shooting like 40% from the field this year.
All his numbers are
And
down.
he broke. If you would have said that statement
Last year.
20 or 30 games of the season, I would have believed you. He was an MVP candidate. He broke the 3-point record for all time already, and he was on a hot streak. Second, he made that record. It looked like it was Stephanie Curry out there. Yeah, I had no idea who that guy was for the next 2 weeks.
I think his best season was definitely last year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, last year he was
unreal.
leading a very bad team and just happened to run into LeBron and the Lakers and AD in the play-in game.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Grizzlies, I think, too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
To get
That was a
kicked
fun
out.
game.
But at least he made the play-in for
Yeah.
being a sole
Yeah.
star on the team. I respect that season. Parker was saying how this is his best defensive season. Sure, fine, I'll give you that, but his offense has not been there. So to get to the point, I think that I think the Mavs can pull out another game. It's everyone is picking against them, especially since they got to go back to Golden State. I think they'll get at least 2 in this series. I would be smiling all day, every day if the Warriors blew a 3-0 lead.
That'd be funny. I'd smile
that'd
too.
be awesome.
I wouldn't have smiled as large as if the Sixers blew it to the Raptors. That's all I wanted in the first round to happen.
Yeah, same here.
After everything happened. But I digress. I think, completely realistic, I think the Warriors win in 6. I think it's a confusing one where you expect them to close it out in 5, but they don't put the finishing touches. Everyone gets this weird hope again and thinks that the Mavs will go home and tie it up. And then in game 7, no one knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think Warriors will beat them on Dallas's floor in 6. So Warriors in 6.
Yeah, it'll be a good series. So hopefully it won't be a blowout like every game.
I agree. Yep, I
It's
agree.
conference finals
Good
so
basketball. That's
far.
all I want to watch. So.
Yeah, exactly.
BK, you want to start off with your Heat?
Yeah.
Celtics thing?
So I wrote in my notes before the playoffs even started that the winner of the Celtics Nets were going to the NBA Finals, and I also had the Mavericks being a dark horse candidate as well. So I would like to ring my own bell a little bit. That's why I got the Celtics in this. We are watching the pregame for the game coming up. We have no idea what's going on. I feel inclined though that everyone thinks it's going to 7. I want to say it's gonna wrap up in 6, but that's just being a biased fan who doesn't like the Heat. So I'll give it to him. I'll say it's going to 7. I got Celtics in 7. I think Tatum and Brown are just too good of a shot creating teammates.
Yeah,
So
good duo.
I got Celtics in 7. And my main opinion though is winner of the East is winning the NBA championship. That's my hot take.
Yeah.
So I know how dismayed almost everyone that we've talked to about basketball would be to see the Heat win the championship, but I want to make the bold statement that I want the Heat to win more than the Warriors.
Interesting.
Thank
And
you.
I know Derek definitely disagrees. Same with the rest of the people that we talk to on the daily. So I just basically want the East team to win, because unless the Mavericks somehow come back from 3-0, man, I don't want the Warriors to win. They're number 4 on my preferred list.
So you got Celtics in 7.
Correct. Celtics in 7 to
All
play
right.
the Warriors.
The Warriors.
Gotcha. I'm gonna have to agree with that Celtics in 7 statement. Hopefully, I think that game 5 is gonna be huge for them, but I don't think it's a win. I don't think it's a must win. I think they can go home, win on their home court in game 6. Then game 7 on the road. I think it's up for grabs at that point. Both teams are really talented.
Yeah.
I will say I think that these last couple games in the series are going to be very low scoring. I think it's going to be good defense. Not many fouls called, just some old school basketball like we all enjoy watching. No flopping, stuff like that.
Oh,
but can't believe I just said no flopping and Marcus Smart's on one of those teams. But whatever.
Yeah.
So
And Grant Williams.
and Grant Williams, yeah, he's a good flopper. Tucker, he's a good one too.
Yeah, Tucker's a great flopper.
That being said, yeah, I'd have to take Celtics in 7. I really like Tatum. I think he's one of the top 10 players in the league. Jimmy's up there too, but I got to go with the Celtics. I think they're more talented roster.
Fair enough. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I do think the Heat will win in 7. I think the key is home court, but also who controls the paint and who has the most paint points, who can protect the paint as much. If Robert Williams is in, that make it even harder for the Heat.
I think he will probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
Should be in there.
'cause I know last game he was holding his knee and came out early, but if he can stay healthy, it'll be an extremely tough series for the Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to just add a statement as a Brooklyn Nets fan and having to deal with one of the most unserious teams in the last 20 years of basketball. I would like to just point out that seeing the Heat's culture and just the coaching in general, and actually seeing good team buy-in, buying into winning and that type of stuff, goes a lot farther in the league than I think people understand. I do think the Heat are a deep team, but on paper, I still think the Celtics are a deeper team. It's just the Heat team building and planning.
The Heat culture.
Correct. The Heat culture, that type of stuff really keeps them in almost any series. So that's why everyone doesn't really give them the props as we've gone throughout the whole season and the playoffs so far, because people don't feel as if this is a super talented, top heavy team. It's a balanced team, but almost everyone says the playoffs come and the biggest stars come out. But the Heat, they've bought in and the culture's there. So I think that's the main dark horse thing that people don't understand.
Yeah.
Just casual basketball.
Yeah. Bad boy Pistons vibes.
Yes. Yeah. You can be
team basketball, hardworking, great defense, try to be tougher, more conditioned.
Yes. Yeah. And what's crazy too is halfway through this year, everyone was saying Celtics should trade Brown and or Tatum.
Yeah, I remember that.
They were not playing well. They were 7th or 8th seed in the East at that time. New head coach Udoka was there, and they were still kind of working through. But they were the same old team that they had with Brad Stevens, and everyone thought they just Brown and Tatum couldn't work. But so what they kind of just had to. I heard some news where they sat down. The coach would sit down with the team every twice a week or something, and just have it be an open players and coaches communication, where he would open the floor up to the players and they can say whatever they want about the last few games or practices and stuff, and just keep an open relationship with the players. And I think that culture as well has kind of boosted them. All they did really to change up their team was at the trade deadline, bring back Al Horford and Daniel Tice.
Huge.
Al Horford's been playing he's 25 years old in the playoffs this year. No one thought that, but even those two moves are not supposed to literally bring a 7th or 8th seed to being the best team in basketball, arguably.
I will say something though.
2 months
with that 7-8 seed, they've been to the conference finals. I don't know, what is it, for the last 5 years now or something like that. The Celtics.
No. They were with Miami.
They made it in the bubble, and last year they got knocked out first round in 5 against the Nets.
So they made it. They went back to back with LeBron.
Okay.
I thought 17, 18. They must 19.
I thought they played in the semis or was that?
Or they played. No, I think
was LeBron a 3 or a 4 seed when he played the Celtics?
He was the 4 seed because he went to Boston for Game 7.
Okay.
I know that they were saying this is Jaylen Brown's 4th Eastern Conference Finals. So regardless of how many years it's been, I know they've been there for a couple times.
But they also had players.
They haven't won though.
They've also had players like Gordon Hayward. I mean, he got hurt. Kyrie during a few of those years. So they had plenty of talent. That's why when they finally disbanded and it was just Brown and Tatum, everyone was like, all right, well, they had 2 years. People kind of just pushed the bubble out of their sight because the bubble is a different atmosphere.
I honestly don't know if I don't think Kyrie ever played in the conference finals with them actually, but
I don't think so. Because I think that was a year when
that was the year they made it when it was Toronto and Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah, because they beat Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then I think Milwaukee beat the Celtics in the semis. So, but still, good to see them playing well now. I think that the Celtics, the Heat, and the Warriors all have a winning culture with those 3 franchises. Mavericks, Under Cuban, they still have a good winning culture. That's why they're in the conference finals. But
It's more
they're
like
young
player
team.
orientated.
Yeah.
Like it's more like Luka
Yep, there's
culture, not
still-
Heat, Celtics, Warriors.
yeah, still a young team, and they got some room to improve. But this is their first year here in the conference finals, so I'm glad that they're here and they're learning. So
Yeah.
all right.
Alright,
So with those were our conference finals predictions. We'll get to our finals predictions here on our next episode, but to move us along here, looks like we're going to be talking about our all NBA teams, and we're also going to incorporate our season awards. So
yeah.
I guess we got to start off with the third team, probably.
Yeah.
right?
Should we go over who made each team first?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
say
yeah,
the actual team first. You wanna...
Yeah. So the All NBA first team was Luka, Devin Booker, Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic.
And the MVP Jokic on the first team.
Yep.
Then the second team was Mr. Steph Curry. We got Ja Morant. We have DeMar DeRozan and Kevin Durant, and then Joel Embiid on the second team.
Yeah.
And then to finish it off on the third team, Chris Paul, Trae Young, LeBron James, Pascal Siakam, and Karl Anthony Towns. So those were the official first, second, and third All NBA teams. However, obviously we got to personalize it, make it our own. So
Of course.
we'll see what changes we have. I can start off with mine here with the third team. For the most part, I don't have too many changes. So on my third team, I got Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan. Those are my two guards. My two forwards are.
DeRozan's a forward.
Oh, is
Yeah.
DeRozan's a forward this year?
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Two guards.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he's a small forward.
Okay.
And sometimes power forward on the Bulls. which is
Yeah.
crazy.
I gotta think. I'll go CP3, Trae Young. I'll move DeMar to the 3, so he'll be one of my forwards.
Mhm.
Jimmy will be one of my forwards, and then I'll finish it off with Cat. So just switching in. Looks like Jimmy Butler for LeBron James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I don't really have much complaints with the entire list. I think everyone on there, you can definitely deserves to, for a certain extent, to be on there.
Mhm.
I do feel bad for Siakam because people don't give him the props that he gets. So it was cool to see him get this All NBA because he had put up like, I don't know the stats, but he was putting up at least like 23
Yeah,
or
underrated
25.
stats.
He
No one was talking about
exactly.
this
No
year.
one was really talking about him, and he was the leader on the Raptors team that almost made the second round. So, my third team, I would go Trae Young, to keep it with CP3 as well, and then I'd have DeRozan. Yeah, so the same thing as Derek. So DeRozan, Butler, and Karl Anthony Towns. I think Butler being the number one option on the number one team, you can't really push him out of.
You can't really
out of
ignore
there.
that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, basically, yeah. So the same list as Derek for the third team so far.
Yeah, mine's pretty much the same thing. My only difference really is I do agree with the voters' decision of putting LeBron on the third team, just with him missing games where his team ended up. Yes, he's an all-time great player and he's putting up great stats in his 19th season, but we should not reward him because it's his 19th season. We should, I feel like it's not an excuse for putting him above other players right now. So I would put Jimmy Butler over Siakam and DeMar DeRozan. Actually, wait, no, I read that wrong. DeMar DeRozan instead of Siakam. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, give a little
All
sneak peek into my second team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can start off with the second team then. So, with the two guards, I'm going with Steph Curry and Ja Morant. I think this is Ja's first All NBA selection, so that's pretty cool for him to see, or to see Ja Morant get a second team selection. Then I got LeBron instead of the third team. I got him on the second team, and then I also have Durant and Embiid to fill it out. So basically, I just switched up DeRozan and LeBron pretty much for the last two.
Yeah, and I'm also on a similar type of wavelength there, where I also keep it at Steph and Morant in the backcourt, and then I moved LeBron up to second. I was very hesitant on doing that based on the reasons Sasma shared. But DeRozan and the Bulls, their train wreck at the end of the season was very gross. Everyone wanted to play them in the playoffs. So I just think he played great, and he was like in the friggin' MVP.
I think that they were there was a time where they were 0-18 against the top 3 season.
And I can't.
That's ridiculous.
I can't ignore that, especially when you have like a Zach LaVine and Vucevic. I try on the All NBA team also to not factor in winning as much as awards do. I think All NBA should be more just basic play, not team oriented as much. That's my view on the awards versus All NBA. So to repeat, Steph, Ja in the backcourt, then LeBron instead of DeMar, like Derek has him, and then KD. And then Embiid as the center on the second team. I'd like to make the blanket statement that I'm sure you two will agree with, that it is absurd that Embiid has to be on the second team.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think the NBA for the teams should be positionless. I think they should just be all guards. It should be guards and forwards.
I completely agree.
It shouldn't be positionless though, because I think guards are still a big important part of the game, and they need to still be garnered for their comparison against other guards and players that actually like play with the ball in their hands a lot and they're smaller. So I'd say guards and forwards, just not. And if that was the case, I would have put Embiid over Tatum on the first team. But that's just a different conversation for a different day. Hopefully they fix that.
Yeah, well, because even like centers like Embiid and Jokic, they also play like traditional 4 sometimes too, with their ability to stretch the floor and pass, and they aren't like the traditional like Shaq centers that we were used to seeing growing up. Like Dwight Howard, like those guys. Like it's completely changed, and I feel like the All NBA teams should reflect that as well. So my All NBA second team is where it differs the most. Out of all the 3 teams. So I have Ja and Curry on the second team. I have Tatum on the second team, along with Jimmy Butler and Embiid. Reason why I have Jimmy Butler on the second team is a lot of the reason is because of winning, but also the main reason of defense. And defense, I believe, is a highly overlooked part of the game now. And the way that he plays defense, and a lot of players like him play defense, it doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet. It's just an eye test. Like, Jimmy Butler is like, he's all over the court and he's just incredible at what he does. And it's just not really something you can measure, which is hard to vote on.
I gotcha. So then for my first team here, we'll try to wrap it up quick. I have the same exact first team as the NBA had. So we got Luka and Booker at the guards, Tatum and Giannis with the forwards, and then Jokic at the center position, the MVP, Nikola Jokic.
Yep. So then, my I'll be in NBA first team. Got too ahead of myself there. Is the same thing, same as the current listed team. I would also say though, if KD gets 10 more games, he's over Tatum. He had the Nets in the first seed with Honey Bun Harden in his even worse form at the beginning of the season, slower than ever, and they were still number 1 seed at that time. No Kyrie in part-time fashion, just KD. And there's times where KD was playing with the friggin' rookies, Kessler Edwards, David Duke Jr., same name as the KKK leader, David Duke, and playing with Patty Mills as the second best player, stuff like that. And they were still beating like Philly, the good teams. So I think he was an MVP race at the time. So I would have put him at first team, but he was injured for too long, and I gotta give Tatum the props for the leap this year he took. So same as the listed: Luka, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and then Jokic.
Yeah, I'm not against Tatum being on the first team. I do have KD over him just for kind of what BA said, like his production while carrying the entire Brooklyn Nets G League team. Like it's something that you can't really overlook. Same with, well, not the same, but like how Tatum never really had to do that, and
True.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's a tough vote.
Tatum had better cards to play with.
Yeah.
He did, and I mean, I'm a big Kevin Durant fan, but I have to give Tatum the flowers because he was injured for just a little too long. He played around, I think, 55 games. That's just not enough compared to a full season for Tatum. I don't think he missed very many. So but I respect it. I think talent wise, people were making jokes that they think the second team can beat the first team in the game of basketball.
Yeah,
and it's low key. It's close, but I think the second team, you can't hide 3 bad defenders. You can't hide all 3 of them against that team. You can't hide Steph, Ja, and DeMar against that lethal offensive team at the top, especially with Jokic as a playmaker and Luka.
Well, and their size, honestly.
Correct. They have a lot of size.
The first team is huge.
Yeah. All right, so we're approaching midway of our episode, but before we get there, I say we get into our in-season awards and what happened and what our own opinions are on those.
Yeah, so we'll try to hit this one pretty quick. So should we start off with probably the most overlooked one, Coach of the Year?
Yes.
Personally, I got Spoelstra. I think that he led the Heat.
Great pick.
The team full of undrafted rookies. I don't even know who Max Strus was. Bro. Like, Gabe Vincent didn't know who he was.
Omar Yurtseven was playing. He's starting for a bit.
You got Jimmy Neutron coming off the bench. It was a lot of injuries as well. So I gotta give it to Spoelstra. I think he's the Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
And I guess it was Monty Williams.
Which was not a bad pick. There's a lot of deserving coaches.
I will say it is a regular season award, and if you probably asked me this 2 weeks ago, I probably would have said Monty Williams simply because of how great of a season they had. But they blew up in the playoffs. It's not a playoff award, but I mean, we can't
ignore it.
We have the retrospect where we can say now, if we voted now, I mean,
if we were voting now,
people are gonna let that affect them. They're both going to pick Spoelstra. I think it's a close race, actually. I'm going to pick Taylor Jenkins from the Grizzlies because of how they played without Ja. The fact that they could literally slide in and have just a catch and shoot guy like Desmond Bane bring up the ball a few times. And they played so well against decent teams with Ja out, their main superstar, top 20, top 15, whatever you want in the NBA. I think the leap that they made, I like to award coaches for large leaps versus the Heat have always kind of been around. The Grizzlies were a play-in team and they didn't really seem like they had much life. They're kind of stuck in no man's zone. They played the Jazz last year. I remember that playoffs was so boring. No one wanted to watch the number 1 Jazz versus 8 Grizzlies. I remember I just said I would barely check their scores because it was going to be so boring to watch that basketball. So I think they took a lead. I got Taylor Jenkins just to reward how much better they got.
Yeah. So I had Coach Spo as well. So after seeing the All NBA teams come out and not have a single player from the Heat on any of the teams, but then them getting the number 1 seed in the East and going to the conference finals, but then their coach isn't even in the top 3 for voting.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think that's kind of
I didn't know that actually.
And
it's
kind of disappointing because it's the same people voting on that. It's just, I don't know. Spo definitely
grinds the gears.
Yeah,
grinds the gears for sure.
Well, for a lot of the same reasons, also what Rolf said. Like, he is just a phenomenal coach, really underlooked, and he'll get his flowers soon, though. Hopefully in the finals.
I don't understand. Like, I can kind of see an argument for him to be the third, but who the heck would you vote over him other than maybe Monty and Taylor Jenkins?
You go Monty, you go Taylor.
I think JB Bickerstaff on the
Udoka,
Cavs, too.
Udoka or whatever.
Udoka.
I bet Udoka got a few.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I still think you can't, especially, I mean, Bickerstaff, if you stop the season like 30 games in, yeah, sure, but they fell off a cliff.
They
They
fell off.
didn't even make the playoffs.
No,
Injuries did hurt them, but also
Steve Kerr is always
Yeah.
in the conversation as well. So,
Mhm.
moving on, most improved player. I don't really have anything to back this up. I just think DeJounte Murray. I mean,
Yeah.
I just like you look at his stats from last year and this year, and just watching him play overall. They didn't have many national televised games, but I think he led the league in steals. if
Yeah,
I'm
he had the
not
most
mistaken.
steals, yeah.
So, props to him, man, putting in the work. I mean, I don't know. You listening? Tell me 3 players on the Spurs. It'll be tough. So
yeah.
made him into the play-in game, and props to him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Murray in second. I also thought he was fairly disrespected from the voters in general. I am still very surprised Ja got it because he was already a star and
Yeah.
became a superstar.
Yeah.
I understand it, and taking that leap is hard. But I'm gonna give mine to Jordan Poole because Jordan Poole was literally an afterthought on the bench, and he became
Well, he was in the G
basically
League.
correct, and he became their third, maybe sometimes second scoring option on the Warriors over Clay. Like honestly, if I had to pick a player right now, I'd rather have Jordan Poole than Clay Thompson.
Absolutely.
So I'm picking Jordan Poole, but DeJounte Murray fairly close in second.
Yeah, I was debating between DeJounte and Poole. So, I mean, Poole filled in, did an amazing job when Curry was hurt for a while. Kept them in the second, third seed race. Especially where he started in the G League. Like that's pretty incredible.
That's
to
crazy.
Come up and
That's
average like
insane.
30 points a game for a stretch.
Once he got a haircut, he was better.
Exactly.
He had those French fries on his head before.
But my pick is DeJounte Murray. He was a glorified role player, somewhat defensive specialist before, but then he really took that large step this year, became an all-star, carried up.
Yeah, he was an all-star.
Spurs
That's
team.
right. Yeah, he was an
Spurs
all-star.
were a 10 seed this
Yeah.
year or something. Yeah, because they didn't make or
Yeah.
11 seed. Yeah, they were supposed to be like
Oh,
bottom.
they
like,
didn't make the play, did they?
Yeah, they barely.
No, did they?
No, they did.
No.
They did, right? They played the Pelicans.
They were
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
10.
yeah.
I thought the Pelicans.
Yeah, so they didn't make the play, and they weren't supposed to be. They're supposed to be like I think a 13
Something like
seed
that,
to start
yeah.
the season. They were projected to be. So for one player to do that, yeah. Let's see here. Let's go on to sixth man of the year. I think the
Thank you.
I
most.
think we know
This
that
is a
one.
fairly easy
Yeah, a
answer
fairly
for everyone,
easy
so.
one.
All right, I'm 3.
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Tyler Hero.
All right.
Enough said.
Enough said. Enough said.
I will say though, Kevin Love had a great.
He did have a great.
He
year.
kind of
He got
rejuvenated
disrespected.
his career, but
Mhm.
the race was over.
Jordan Clarkson's always solid too.
Yeah, I know Kevin Love did get a lot of hate going into the season, and then that is really impressive for him to put that to the side and push through that. and
Definitely.
have it even
Good for him.
have like a really good comeback here.
Yeah, you got a lot of hate for coming into the Olympics. He was on the Olympic team and he came in overweight, so they cut him. They talked a lot of smack until the season started. So I respect the grind, man.
Yeah.
Shout out. Kid
So 3 more awards here. Defensive player of the year. I got to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I thought that he impacts the game. Like he can guard any any offensive player. He can block shots. He can steal. He's so long and athletic. So I got to go with Giannis.
Yeah, never a bad option.
Yeah.
Here's my unpopular opinion compared to a lot of people. I think that Rudy Gobert is grossly underrated, and he should win Defensive Player of the Year most of the years. Everyone gets so angry because they catch him on the perimeter. Do you want to know why he's such a bad perimeter defender? Because he has to deal with the rest of his team being one of the worst perimeter defending teams I've ever seen.
They kind of
He has
funnel
to-
him into
Correct. They funnel him into Gobert because they don't know how to play defense man to man. Donovan Mitchell forgot how to play defense. So once he started to get better in offense, they have to play people like Joe Ingles, before he got hurt. All of that. So I still have Gobert. I think he continues on that race. It's kind of funny though. I mean, we're watching the playoffs and Marcus Smart will have some good games. And then sometimes he'll kind of get carved up and everyone's kind of roasted him on social media saying this your depoy and he's getting outplayed by Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
And I think Drew Holiday is an underrated defender.
I think so too.
People forgot about him.
I think if you're going to pick a guard, pick Drew instead of Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
For defensive player of the year. He deserves it.
Yeah.
So mine is Bam Adebayo. It's upsetting. He also was not a top 3 choice, or maybe he was third. Maybe
I think Bridges was voted in it.
Yeah. So
who was the other one then?
It was Smart,
Gobert.
Bridges, and Gobert.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow, okay. Interesting.
yeah. So Bam, I think finished 4th. When I look into defense, blocks, the number of blocks is an overrated stat. Like Gobert, your entire defense can be focused on just sending players to you. You know, that's not how the Heat play. The Heat play they switch defenses, and for a center like Bam to be able to guard Steph Curry and Giannis on like at the same time, obviously not the same game, but in the same stretch, and make them both shoot around 25% is incredible. No one else does it. No one else switches as much as Bam does, and his versatility is unmatched, I think.
Yeah, I think with Gobert's type of defense, it raises the floor of your defense a ton, but the potential is not. The ceiling isn't as high as having a switchable 1 through 5 lanky guy like a Bam or a Giannis, or even Mikal Bridges can probably guard 1 through 4. Mm-hmm. But people like that, you can at the peak, you can get filthy watching that, and it's really good basketball. But I just think Gobert makes up for how truly bad the Jazz's defense is. And I think he just raises the floor, so that he's more of a floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser as a defender. And I value that a little more. But
yeah, my last case for Bam is who blocks Embiid on a jump shot and then can pick Steph Curry's pocket.
Sure.
Bam.
Giannis, maybe.
Bam, Giannis. Those are the only. Giannis is my second choice for depoy.
Yeah. I definitely favor the guys that can switch 1 through 5, because then you're not a defensive liability, on anyone. So
I guess. I just think it just depends on your opinion on just defense in general. Do you want to run a switch everything type scheme? Do you want to run some drop coverage? Do you want to switch defense is fairly complicated for some people, actually, because it can a lot of moving parts. Drop coverage, I've seen, I don't know. I think drop coverage can be ripped up though by people like Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, people who can pull up. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's into off the bench.
I had to slip that in
the bench, off the bench. Yeah, he's kind of gross, but it's just opinions on defense, NBA defense. Yeah. It's a whole different story. So we'll move on.
Yeah.
Next, are we on to the MVP?
MVP and Rookie of the Year.
We'll start with Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
I got Scotty.
Yeah, also Scotty Barnes.
He was very good.
Yeah. Who do you pick?
I have Evan Mobley.
Yeah,
I think his defensive ability is still underrated. I don't think people understand. Mm-hmm. He is a player that could switch 1 through 5.
Yeah.
He was playing mostly the 4 with Jared Allen, and when both of them were playing, it was disgusting. That's why they're so good at the beginning of the year. I think Mobley's offense is a little behind Barnes, but it's not as far behind as people think. I think he's a decent enough creator as a 4-5 type combo, where I think I like Mobley a little more. If they would have ended up like the Raptors ended up finishing higher than the Cavs, but the Cavs were playing better until injuries. So it's kind of your opinion on
their peak was higher.
Correct.
Definitely.
Correct. So when Cavs at their best, I think we're a little better than the Raptors at their best. And Scotty definitely has other players that he can funnel towards.
Yeah. I think Rookie of the Year is an overrated award anyway.
I do too. Like Mobley, I think we can all agree will be better than Scotty Barnes.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I just say overall, like there's just some. I mean, you look at some guy like Michael Carter Williams.
Yeah.
He had a good year though.
Like, Tyreek Evans before he's on the weed. You get all these guys that just peak early, give them big contracts because they get these awards, and then they just fall off a bridge because they're spoiled. So hopefully that doesn't happen to LaMelo Ball. It might. We'll see. But yeah, those kind of players. That's why I'm not a big fan of the Rookie of the Year. I know it has to be an award, but I really don't think there's much value to it. So
Yeah, I agree.
then finally with my MVP, then we'll move on to some fast food and some gambling to wrap it up. My MVP was Nikola Jokic as well. The stats, you can't deny it. I don't know what he had, like 27, 13, and 7 or something like that. So I gotta go with Nikola Jokic, but it was really, really close this year between him, Embiid, and Giannis.
Who do you have at second for MVP?
Giannis. I have Giannis second. Yep.
Yeah.
Then I have Embiid third. But yeah, I gotta go with Jokic. Just by a little bit though, not by much.
Yeah. I have Jokic, and the interesting thing is, throughout the season, we have our good old men group chat of us fellas, Kyle Maher, Atlanta boy, and Nick Rogers, good old Marine boy.
Marine.
They don't contribute very much in the basketball talks, but they will slip a few opinions here and there. Usually very insightful, very insightful. But it's very funny to me because every single time I ever started to put Embiid higher up, Derek would put Jokic. And then at the end of the season, I said Jokic was MVP. Derek said Embiid for weeks. So I am wondering, did you finally cave and just say, "Oh, darn it! I guess since Jokic got it and everyone's talking about him, I guess."
No, I just don't. I don't like Embiid.
You had him like I don't know. I had every time I flip flopped. I had beginning of the season I had KD because they're number 1 seed and they're playing really well. Then about halfway through, then I switched to a little bit of Jokic, and then I flipped to Embiid when Embiid was going crazy. And then once Harden and Embiid started struggling, then I was like, all right, well, it's back to Jokic again. And I just think we can't dismiss the fact that Jokic led a team to the playoffs with an old Jeff Green, a mentally confused Aaron Gordon. I don't know if he knows how to play basketball sometimes. And people like Monte Morris, he led that team to beat good teams in the regular season. So Jokic, you can get mad about the analytics. I don't care. Watch the game, and he still passes the eye test. He is still him and Embiid were my top 2, and then Giannis at 3. I just think Embiid was insane at the beginning of the year, and yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I had Jokic MVP, Giannis second, Embiid third. My reasoning for Embiid being third is he stayed the same, but then you got James Harden.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be. So the media said the best duo since Kobe and Shaq, but then you stay the same and then get thumped in the playoffs in the second round. That's not supposed to happen. Like you can't be doing that. You can't. Yeah.
No, and I agreed it was bad, but I make sure to not emphasize playoffs.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like
I genuinely
Sixers
think
didn't get back.
after watching the playoffs, I'll definitely move them down. But this is just what I had as of the end of the regular season.
Yeah, me too. But it just kind of validates it a little bit more.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so now I guess we can probably do some sports gambling quick since we're on the topic of sports. Then we'll hit up some food. I know you're all hungry here listening to this podcast, so we'll go over some bets. I personally am the only one here that gambles. I use Prize Picks. It can match your deposit, 100% deposit match up to $100.
What's your code if our users would
So if my users, if the users do want to use a code, PR-RO34ZFF is my code. I just get $25. I'd appreciate it.
So be gone in an afternoon.
I'd say be gone in an afternoon. Yeah, probably on MLB, NBA, CS:GO, tennis. So
betting on everything, man.
For game, this is game 5, correct? Yeah.
Yep. We are still in pregame.
Yeah, game 5 is coming up tonight.
It's almost starting.
All right. So for game 5, I got 5 picks that I do. So PJ Tucker, over under 4.5 rebounds. If you guys want to share your opinions too, I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm taking over. I feel like this game's to be a defensive game. I don't know.
I think low scoring as
Defense means missed shots, which means rebounds.
Defensive game, rebounds, and I don't know. I just have that feeling in me that he's just gonna get it done fairly early in the game.
well. Yeah, I
You
know.
know
I
what
think
I'm saying?
I
Like
think he's gonna
I
be-
feel like he's gonna cash you out pretty quick.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. So second one, we got Max Strus over or under 16.5 points, rebounds,
I
or
thought you were gonna say
assists.
points.
Points,
You're
points,
gonna
rebounds,
hang
or
back on it.
assists. And I got the over. I think there's a chance that he's the X factor this game. Him or Oladipo or Robinson or all three. So with Tyler Hero out, I think someone's got to step up.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm with you on the over. I feel like after Jimmy having a subpar game last game, that the Celtics will be focused on frustrating him again, and that the ball is gonna have to go somewhere.
Yeah,
and that'll be
definitely,
Max
yes.
Strus. Because Duncan Robinson hopefully will be playing more this game, and
Yeah.
to have someone behind you like that, you would expect him to shoot well and really perform.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed if he did not.
Mhm,
I
definitely.
mean, yeah, if they want to win that game, you should get the over. So I mean, I agree with the reasoning there. I'm not a betting man though, so I'll go with the over with you guys, but I wouldn't personally choose that pick to even bet on in general.
Yeah, same.
So then we got Jason Tatum over under 3-3-pointers. You can't push it. It's 3.0, but you can't push. You got to go over or under. I'm going to go under. I know he has that injury with the shoulder. I got a feeling that he's just going to be plagued with that injury for this game. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go under on Tatum's threes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I think the Heat do give up a lot of threes, especially if the ball goes into Robert Williams.
Robert, rest in peace, Robin.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll get a lot of kickouts. The Heat will probably give up a lot of threes, I think.
Yeah, I think just the law of momentum and just of large numbers, where you learn how when players are playing good or when events are occurring that are above the mean, they tend to return and resort back to the mean. He has been shooting very well from deep in the series in some games that I've been seeing recently. So I would say no, so under.
Okay. Two more here. We got Jimmy Butler, 6.5 free throws made. I'm going to take the under. I think this game is going to be pretty physical, low scoring. I think there's not going to call many fouls, and I'm fine with it. I like watching basketball when it's a little rougher, not too rough, but yeah, just enough where they're not calling all these flops and flagrants and stuff like that. So I'm going to take the under 6.5.
I think it'll be under. It should be over. I know I'll be complaining during the game about it being over, but that's just how it's been the last couple of games. If it's more physical, it's better in my opinion. As long as it's called evenly and not being, 14 free throws for the Heat and 38 for the Celtics in the game. I think I'm fine with that. As long as it's equal, then basketball will be better that way.
Definitely.
Yeah, in a must-win game, it seems like for both teams, I'm going to go with the under because I think it's going to turn into more of a bully ball, and star players get their jumpers, man. And I don't think Butler's going to be able to get to the hoop as much, get fouled. I think they're going to let him settle, and if he's making shots, they can win the game. But I think it'll be more jumper / not many fouls called, so under.
Definitely. And then our final one here is Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year, over under 1.5 blocks and steals combined. So I'm going to have to take the over just because it might be turnover heavy game. We'll see. Since it's going to be so low scoring, in my opinion, I could see Marcus Smart, getting a block here, steal here, just probably 2 or 3. We'll see. But yeah.
I think it'll be under. The Heat don't turn over the ball that much on their home court. We'll see. He could get the blocks, but I just don't see him getting it personally. Just my gut opinion.
Over. No explanation. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right.
Enough.
So are we gonna do our food here?
That's
Final
quick wrap up.
Quick wrap up because I'm starving, so we gotta think of some food here. We're going top 5 fast food chains. I'll start off with my number 5. I'm going Culver's.
Just go. I'm not gonna be able to go from the bottom.
Culver's. Okay, fine. I'll start at the top. Five Guys, Potbelly, Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Culver's.
Man, want to go BK? Want to go?
Yeah. So, number one, I do like Five Guys, and there's no complaints from me. Sheesh. One of our fellow podcasters, Derek Rolfe, likes to let some rip. And he is giving you a little inside scoop of what's going on in here. He just stood up, wafting his arms towards us and smiling, trying not to laugh.
And then gets up and leaves.
Correct. So I'm trying to do my restaurants here, but brother is letting loose.
I'm on my way to the restaurant.
Yeah, he had a long day. Yeah, I'll go with Five Guys at number one, and then the classic McDonald's for me.
Yes.
I love McDonald's. It's cheap. I think the food to value ratio is pretty good for how much you got to pay for it. And then I'll go Taco Bell. I like Taco Bell as well. McDonald's and Taco Bell are fairly close, but I personally I can get a little more for my money at McDonald's. So
Yeah.
that's the move for me. Then the next one I will go with fast food. Is Qdoba considered fast food?
Yes,
I think so,
yeah.
Yes.
Qdoba is
Then I'm
considered.
gonna go Qdoba, and screw you if you think Chipotle is better.
Yes,
Come find me.
facts.
Come find me, and
Fight
I'll
us.
have a nice discussion with my fists if you think Chipotle is better. I like Qdoba. We have one in town, and yes, I have tried Chipotle, and I still believe Qdoba is better. So Qdoba at 4. And then we'll go the classic Culver's. Culver's got good food. It is expensive. I know a lot of people who like it more than I do, but you can't go wrong with the classic Blizzards. Sometimes their workers don't accept your coupons, and then, and kind of force you to have to pay for both of your shakes, and you got to buy one, get one, and then you go home and complain to your friend's mom because it didn't work. I don't know who that would ever happen to, but come on, workers, don't try that hard.
Step your game up.
You guys make plenty of money. Just accept one coupon, man.
Yeah.
Accept the coupon.
You're not making money from it. You know, you're not.
Exactly. Corporate America.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like the game's about to start. So Saz, what you want to put in your
Yeah, I'll wrap it
top
up
five
here. Number one for me is Chick-fil-A. Five Guys is amazing. I've only had it once. So I feel bad putting that high up. My limited experience there. And then I have Taco Bell number 2. Steak quesadillas with extra cheese sauce. It's just you don't get anything better than that. At McDonald's at number 3 is the classic. Nothing better than getting 6 cheeseburgers for $8. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably more now because inflation. You're not gonna get on that tangent. But, oh man,
it's the Putin inflation. It's all his fault.
Yep, only Putin is doing it.
No.
Only foreign leaders impacting our economy.
Yep.
I have Culver's number 4. Then you make it less expensive. Except more coupons, but it's just their burgers are amazing. And then I'll round it up with Qdoba. I have Chipotle next to me on campus. I've had Chipotle for 9 months. I had Qdoba when I came back, and it was 1,000 times better.
Let's go.
So it's not even close.
Yeah, I would like to change my answer again because I forgot about Chick-fil-A being a fast food restaurant. I'm gonna move Chick-fil-A at 5, bump Culver's out.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, that's it.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for
That's a
listening.
wrap.
I appreciate it.
We'll have one in next couple days doing the NBA Finals predictions as well. Feel free to let us know any topics that you want us to talk about.
Yeah. Or if you want to appear on the show, maybe have a guest who can talk about different topics.
Yeah, we want to hear all your insight. If you did end up listening to this whole thing, God bless your soul.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just want to let us know what we can improve on, what topics we should have, And then, yeah, if you want to join the show, definitely let us know.
Let me know. Let us know if you're also interested in hearing about our Fortnite endeavors.
Oh,
we
yes.
have been
Yes.
very intrigued.
We've been
with
grinding.
the new no build mode.
Yeah, we can stream on
And
Fortnite if you
we-
want us to.
yeah, and we are quite entertaining. We have our friend Nick Rogers and Kyle Maher sometimes on, and it's always a classic.
Yeah.
There's lots of screaming.
Oh yeah.
A
If you,
lot.
if you like screaming, this is
Yes.
more of a chilled environment now, but Fortnite will be
Yes.
a little
You
different.
you can see a little more deep dive in our personal emotions and
Yes.
actions. Some people have ADD and don't know when to jump out of the bus. Some people certain individuals have to blow up everything if they ever find grenades or airstrikes.
Yeah.
I love violence.
Some people love violence and always just push
Yeah.
regardless.
Not violence. I like explosions, actually.
Oh man, are you inferring what I'm saying here about that terrible tragedy that's
No,
been
I'm
occurring?
not actually. I'm not at all. But wow,
Come
yeah,
on,
definitely.
man. Yeah, this is a PG.
Yeah, I was
Come on.
not. My
Right,
bad.
right.
My bad.
Our condolences out to all the families and children involved with the Texas massacre shooting
Yeah,
that
definitely.
occurred at the elementary school. It's a somber thing, but I mean, my main statement is that's horrible. The fact that we have to keep talking about this kind of sucks, but
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely not
God
a
bless,
good thing.
God bless their souls, man.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Just keep politics out of it. Let the families grieve. Don't try to make families,
Yeah.
have different opinions against each other. We
Yeah.
all of us obviously feel bad for it. There's no need to divide us on this issue.
Yeah, that's the problem. We can talk a lot more about deeper political news.
That would be a
issues.
fun episode,
That
I
would be
think. A
fun.
political
Yes,
episode.
because to sum it in short terms, I just think the problem with politics is they're just trying to divide the average folk. And that just shouldn't be a thing, man. If they let us think for ourselves and stop trying to divide each other, we would be a lot better and a lot healthier of a nation.
Yeah.
That's speaking from the heart from Brandon Carlson.
Sorry.
Brandon John Carlson. Brandon Carlson with K.
All right. Well, I got to work tomorrow, so
Yeah, I think
That's
that
a wrap
was a
for me,
successful
so-
first episode. I think that went pretty smooth. and
Yeah, I think
everything,
as
so-
well.
Yeah.
definitely. I think it was a solid episode.